Not again, but it looks like it's probably going to be happening. I have a variety of updates for you in this video. Let's get into it right away. But if you haven't done so yet, or if you happen to be new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video so I can keep you updated each and every day with all the latest updates as they're being released, especially as things are changing very rapidly right now when it pertains to the stimulus package, Social Security, retirement, SSDI, SSI, VA, RRB, low income, no income, stimulus checks, and everything else that's going on out there right now. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Subscribe down below so I can continue to be your one and only daily advocate. All right, thank you so much. Let's get right into this. So once again, we have a lot to cover in this video. Let's work our way through these one at a time. I first want to quickly start out by talking about this new COVID variant called Omicron. I've actually heard it pronounced a couple different ways, Omicron and Omicron, but I'm going to go with Omicron because that's what seems to make the most sense to me. All right, so as of yesterday, when we first heard about this new variant, it looked like it was mostly contained to about 8 countries within the southern portion of the African continent. However, as of now, there's already confirmation that it is already in some of the European countries. Just a small handful of European countries are already showing that it is in their borders. Also, Israel has already pointed out they will be closing their border for the next 14 days. So, wow. At the same time, Dr. Fauci was out saying that it is not in the United States yet. Well, it's not confirmed in the United States yet, but it could already be here, and it is most likely that it will be coming here. It is only a matter of time. Now, what is the impact of this variant going to be? Well, nobody knows quite yet because it hasn't been researched yet. We don't know enough about it yet, right? We don't know how fast it's going to spread. We don't know how many people are going to get it. We don't know how widespread this thing's going to be. We don't know how contagious it is, all that stuff like that. So I actually listened to a variety of different doctors talking about this today, and honestly, they don't really know much about it yet. It's still all a mystery. There's still a lot of learning to do on this thing. So it's a mystery to everybody, including the experts at this point. Obviously, they know more than I do, but based on what they're saying is it's still very new to them. They're still researching it, trying to figure out everything about it. So this should be an interesting one playing out once again, but it looks like regardless of what we try to do, it looks like inevitably it probably will be coming to the United States. It's only a matter of time, right? So, with that being said, remember just the other day, the president was out announcing he's going to be releasing 50 million barrels of oil out of the reserves to help alleviate prices at the gas pump. Well, number one, it's going to take several weeks for those decreases in prices to actually hit local pumps where all of us are located around the country. And number two, it's likely only going to lower gas prices by a few pennies. You know, a little bit, 10, 15, 20, maybe 35 cents at the most. So not very much. But not only that, here's what's interesting about it. So, as a result of this, there's a coalition of multiple different countries who are oil producers within a coalition called OPEC. Well, what's interesting about it is a couple of the leaders, Saudi Arabia and Russia, have already basically come out and said they're going to decrease oil production as a result of all these countries tapping into the reserves. Well, what that basically means is supply will be drying up, therefore prices are not going to go down. So here's the thing, even with the supply, the strategic reserves being opened up to alleviate gas prices, if the producers, Saudi Arabia, Russia, and some of the other top producing countries out there actually start to minimize their production, it's not going to do anything to the price because it's all about supply and demand. Supply and demand is what dictates price in any market. Therefore, if supply starts to go down, it's not going to do anything to the price. Price will stay static and or possibly even go up. So, interesting. Here's one other interesting point about this. Right now, or I shouldn't say right now, as of Tuesday, the average price for 1 gallon of gas across the entire country, this is the national average, was $3.41 per gallon. A year ago at the same time, it was $2.11. That's $1.30 more today, or right now, this year, than what it was just a year ago. That's a lot. $1.30, I mean, per gallon. If you're filling up 10 gallons, I mean, that's $13, right? And I'm guessing most people are probably filling up more than more than 10 gallons at a time, right? So, I mean, you're talking some serious money every time you fill up. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It really adds up fast, right? Over 50% more than what it was a year ago. So, interesting stuff. Now, some other information I found out there. Let's talk about the stimulus package for just a minute here. I found some information and some interesting articles talking about Democrats and when it comes to the stimulus package. They're basically saying Democrats need to stop being scared and just get the package done. Now, again, these are not my words. These are the words out of the articles that I found. I know that there's a variety of opinions here on the channel and things like that. I try to be as bipartisan as I possibly can, or what I should say is nonpartisan, right down the middle. But like I said, this is just what the articles were saying, is basically they just need to get it done already, right? Stop horsing around and just get the package done already. So kind of interesting to see that kind of play out, and kind of some of the opinions of people out there right now that are writing this information about the stimulus package and everything else out there that's going on. Here's what's also interesting. Again, so that was one article, one kind of piece about the stimulus packages, but here's something else out there. So as of right now, some people are calling on, or what I should say is preliminary polling results are coming out right now, and it's actually looking like Republicans are like 11% higher than Democrats going into the preliminary polling numbers for 2022 midterm elections. At that rate, that could flip anywhere between about 50 and 70 seats in the House. That's a massive number. I mean, that is like huge right there. So again, these are all preliminary numbers and just based on some of the reports that I was seeing out there, but kind of interesting to look at that. So Democrats kind of have a lot ahead of them right now. If they want to maintain the majorities going into the midterm elections next year, they know what to do about this. I mean, honestly, they know what to do, and they kind of got to make some swift action about this, because as we all know, it does take a long time to reverse polling numbers. So again, not taking sides with any of this stuff. I'm simply telling you the information that I'm finding out there with all of my research, with everything going on right now. So a lot of interesting and weird things going on out there. Also, I quickly want to talk about some retail sales number. Now, I know you might not care about this all that much, but the other day I was out talking about this because I thought it was really interesting now that we're technically within the holiday shopping season, as they call it, right? Basically starting pretty much November 1st is technically when it starts, but a lot of people are pretty much refer to it as like Thanksgiving is kind of the unofficial kickoff of the shopping season for the year. Well, you know, for most people anyway. But a couple of different reports were out. 11.5% of Americans right now are saying they will not be doing any holiday shopping because money is so tight for them right now that they're simply not going to buy a single gift, nothing, not a single item for the holidays this year. 11.5% of people. Now, they're also expecting holiday sales to actually be the highest, a new record. Well, why? If 11.5%, which is also a new record of new people saying they're not going to make any purchases this year for gifts, how could we be making a new record? Well, it's being offset by higher income and the wealthy spending even more this year, offsetting all of that anybody else maybe not be spending on. So it's the higher income and the wealthy people that are offsetting all of this. Here's what's interesting. So, on Thanksgiving Day, it was reported that there were $5.1 billion of sales on Thanksgiving Day, which is perfectly in line with what they were expecting and exactly what was last year as well. So, back in 2020, it was also $5.1 billion on Thanksgiving Day. However, when it comes to Black Friday, they were anticipating anywhere between $9.1 billion and $9.8 billion of sales. However, it came in a little shy, $8.9 billion alone on Black Friday. That's a lot of money. We're talking serious cash here, right? That's a lot of money going around. So $8.9 billion on Black Friday. Now, they're also anticipating for Cyber Monday. That's this coming Monday, so a couple days from right now. They're anticipating it's going to be between $10.1 and $11 billion alone on Cyber Monday. So we don't know those results yet because it's not Monday yet, right? But of course, we'll have to watch that closely because it might be kind of interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. So here's the thing. They were anticipating this, kind of blockbuster year for retail sales and for holiday shopping, things like that. But realistically, it's already coming in a little bit light. Thanksgiving was perfectly the same as last year, so no increase year over year. And when it comes to Black Friday, it was actually below expectations, about $200 billion below, $200 million below the low end of the spectrum in which they kind of laid out right there. So again, a lot of weird stuff going on out there, right? So on one hand, we have the lower income and middle income people, especially low income people, who are basically doing no shopping of any kind this year just because they're trying to get by, trying to just basically cover the necessities right now, which again, according to the reports that we've seen, low income individuals are just struggling to get by with just the necessities. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we have the wealthy and the rich out there spending all kinds of dough on all kinds of stuff. You know what? I'm going to tell you one more thing. I came across this. I had no intention of talking about this, but I'm going to mention it just as one quick example of how wealthy people are spending just ridiculous amounts of money right now. So I just came across this a short time ago, and I thought this was super interesting. Neiman Marcus, you ever heard of them? It's a retail store, kind of high-end stuff. Neiman Marcus is showcasing in their annual catalog right now a $38,000 champagne vending machine. Who needs this? I mean, let's be real. Who needs this in their house? Nobody, right? But apparently, according to the brand, they've already sold a number of these things. And by the way, like I said, $38,000. I mean, really? Do you really need a champagne vending machine in your house? I mean, maybe some people do, but apparently they've already sold a few of them. So $38,000 a piece, by the way. $38,000. That's almost an annual income for the average person in America. Just throwing that out there, right? So anyway, I guess if you have that much disposable income that you can just blow $38,000 on a ridiculous vending machine, then by all means go for it, right? But I certainly don't need one of those. Not in my house. I certainly don't need that, and there's no way I would ever spend that kind of money on that. There's just no way, right? But that's just me. Who knows? Maybe you would. Maybe somebody else would, but sorry, it's not for me. So anyway, a lot of weird stuff out there right now. These are the things that I came across throughout my research for the day, and just wanted to come back and let you know what's going on. Again, there's a lot of stuff going on out there. It's going to get very busy here going forward on the stimulus package as Congress is working their way through this thing. And oh man, it's going to get kind of hot and heavy here going forward. So hope this helps you out in any way. Again, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I'm here for you each and every day with all the latest updates and as your one and only daily advocate. Also, please feel free to go back and check out any of the other videos right here on the channel. Almost 2,000 videos. So again, enjoy your day, subscribe down below, and I'll catch you again later in the next